So the EPA's been doing a pretty good job lately. The Inspector General report has highlighted some just shining stars in environmental protection, like the guy who viewed porn for 2 to 6 hours every single day and had about 7,000 pornographic files in his EPA computer. The woman who hasn't produced anything in 5 years, isn't even connected to the EPA network, and she's taken home $600,000.
Yeah.
The guy who's been there for 2 years in a retirement home, hasn't done anything, still getting paid. Who else? Oh, the woman who sold weight loss pills and hired like 17 relatives.
I do not know how you consume 2 to 6 hours of porn every single day, though.
God knows I do.
But you at least do some work whilst you have it running in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a screensaver. Like,
I'm practically left-handed by now. For typing, don't get sick. So this sounds like a horrible story, but every single thing the EPA has done in like 2 decades has been horrible. Mm-hmm. So if you guys just want to jerk off and go to retirement homes and slowly die or do whatever you're doing, go for it.
You know, what'd be funny is actually if his job was to watch porn and look to see if they're using like energy saving, like, and maybe now the EPA is way too embarrassed to admit that they actually had that as like a potential job.
Like the light bulbs in their scenes weren't necessarily the correct standards.
Can you spot solar panels if it's an outdoor scene, like anywhere? It'd actually be interesting because I could see them being like, oh, let's see how it pervades popular culture, and porn is part of popular culture.
I think he was alone in his office, though. Because there's a part in the press release, like, when the Inspector General showed up at his office, he was still watching pornography, which is awesome. They walk in on it, and he's like, oh, hey.
I feel like you would transcend the pleasure of watching porn and just make it into a scholarly matter. It would just be like,
you're just sitting there grading.
You're sort of just an expert at that point. You kind of know the actresses and the actors, and you're like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. You see, like, an arm, and you're like, oh, that's Bill.
I don't know, I'm happy.
You just want the $500,000. Now you're just jealous.
Yeah.